Hello and welcome to your English news broadcast live on ERi-TV. It's exactly 10:30 p.m. on Eritrea's local time. We are live from our headquarters with your domestic and international news in brief. And these are your major headlines for this broadcast. An announcement from the Ministry of Health. Commemoration of the 60th anniversary of the armed struggle and more on your domestic. Your international Venezuela sanctions imposed by the United States and Europe, according to yesterday's reports. And following Israel, twins conjoined at head separated after rare surgery. Welcome to your domestic in brief. 3 patients have been diagnosed positive for COVID-19 in tests carried out today at quarantine centers in the northern Red Sea and central regions. Out of these, 2 patients are from quarantine centers in the central and Af'abat, northern Red Sea region. The last patient is from quarantine centers in Asmara, central region. Sadly, a 60 and a 69-year-old patients in the central region have passed away due to the pandemic. On the other hand, 4 patients who have been receiving medical treatment in hospitals in the central region have recovered fully and have been discharged from these facilities. The total number of recovered patients has accordingly increased to 6,605, while the number of deaths increased to 40. The total number of confirmed cases in the country to date has increased to 6,651. Ministry of Health, Asmara, 7th of September 2021. Nationals residing in various cities of Germany commemorated the 60th anniversary of the beginning of the armed struggle for Eritrean independence on 4th and 5th of this September. According to reports from the National Committee of Eritreans in Germany, the nationals commemorated the day in premises of the Eritrean Embassy in Berlin, featuring various programs in compliance with COVID-19 guidelines. At the event held in Frankfurt, Mr. Kasai Tolde gave extensive briefing on the significance of 1st September in the history of the Eritrean people, as well as on the objective situation in the homeland. The occasion in Frankfurt was featured with general knowledge competitions focusing on the history and culture of the Eritrean people, as well as artistic and cultural performances. Similar programs in commemoration of the Diamond Jubilee of the armed struggle for Eritrea's independence were held in the cities of Stuttgart, Mannheim, Heidelberg, Dusseldorf and Wuppertal, Nuremberg, Hamburg, Kassel, and other cities within Germany. Proceeding with your domestic, the inhabitants of Tebelida Administrative Area Golij subzone extended 328,500 NOK for financial support to families of martyrs in their area. The contribution was distributed to 73 families of martyrs, 4,500 NOK for each. Mr. Desiezer Mikhail, administrator of Golij subzone, stated Mr. Dese further called on the residents of neighboring administrative areas to emulate the notable example and support families of martyrs thereof. A 9-month training on drama was organized to 46 youth, including 20 females in the central region. At the graduation conducted on 4th September, it was stated that the training focused on acting and film directing. Speaking at the event, the representative of the trainees stating the significance of the training in raising their knowledge in the field of drama and acting and expressing readiness to upgrade the knowledge in practice called for their and its sustainability. Short dramas that were prepared by the trainees were represented and presented during the graduation ceremony. Reports indicate that the National Union of Eritrean Youth, in cooperation with the National Confederation of Eritrean Workers and National Union of Eritrean Women, has been organizing vocational training programs on 14 fields for 598 youth. Out of these, 285 youth have graduated, and the remaining will be graduated in the near future. On your final domestic, the National Union of Eritrean Youth and Students organized a 3-month vocational training to 78 youth in Gulich subzone, Gashbarka region. The training included bee farming, beauty salon, and business management, as well as first aid, indicating that the objective of the training was to develop the capacity of youth with a view to enable them become self-supportive and productive members of their society. Mr. Marikos Grimațion, head of the Organization and Political Affairs at the National Union of Eritrean Youth and Students branch in the region, called on the trainees to take advantage of the training they were provided in improving their livelihoods. Commanding the opportunity they were provided with, the trainees expressed readiness to live up to expectations. Stay tuned for your international report. And on your reports on the global line, the second round of talks between the Venezuelan government and the opposition continued on Saturday, September 4th in Mexico City to ease the prosperous country's long-running crisis, which has forced millions to flee. Representatives of embattled socialist President Nicolás Maduro and the opposition to his government met during the weekend after a first round of negotiations held in the Mexican capital last month. Opposition Representative Gerardo Belaid said that they are working on early agreements to alleviate the humanitarian crisis in the Latin American country. The government representative Jorge Rodriguez said that they have demanded the financial sanctions imposed by the United States and Europe on Venezuela be lifted, including those appealed to state oil company PDVSA, blamed for intensifying the country's historic economic meltdown. No agreements from the talks have been publicly disclosed so far. Unlike failed talks in years past, the Mexico-hosted negotiations now have the formal backing of the Netherlands, Russia, Bolivia, and Turkey, as well as Norway, which also participated in the early August round. Venezuela's economic collapse has been felt far beyond its borders as desperate individuals and whole families have sought better prospect in other countries, part of an exodus that the Washington-based Organization of America's State has estimated will reach 7 million next year. On your final report, 1-year-old twin girls who were born conjoint at the back of their heads have seen each other for the first time after undergoing rare separation surgery in Israel. The 12th-hour operation at the Sorka Medical Center in the city of Beersheba last week took months of preparation and included the scalp graft for both of the twins. Dozens of experts from Israel and abroad were involved. However, the girls, who have not been named, are said to be recovering well. Eldad Silberstein, the head of Soroka's plastic surgery department, told Israeli Channel 12 News that they are breathing and eating on their own. It is the first time such an operation, which has been conducted 20 times worldwide, has been performed in Israel. Months before the surgery, inflatable silicone bags were inserted into their heads and periodically expanded to stretch their skin. The new skin was then used to seal their heads after the skull was reconstructed. Preparations also include the creation of a 3D virtual reality model of the twins, said Mickey Dagan, surgeon, chief neurosurgeon. In quotation, to our delight, everything went as we had hoped, he added. The girls, who were born in August 2020, are expected to lead completely normal lives. Dear viewers, I'm Zahra Badouri with your reports. These were your major headlines in review. That is all for now. Thanks for watching.